Welcome to The Fault Vault. We have two brothers breaking down their business mistakes. Hello and welcome to The Fault Vault, where we have two brothers breaking down their mistakes. Over there just happens to be my brother. Hey there, Jay. How you doing?
Doing good. It's been doing well. Today's Tuesday, T-Mobile Tuesday for those of you who have T-Mobile, so I was just perusing the deals. No, I'm doing well. I'm Jay from Blackfield Express Cabinets. I forget my tagline. We sell cabinets in the local area. I forget what it is, but that's fine.
There you go.
No, I'm doing well. It's a warm day. As you can see, I do not have anything else besides a shirt.
That's true.
And pants. And so it's nice. I got here and I opened up everything. So everything is open and we're soaking up the warm air before the night comes. But anyway, no, things are going well. Working a couple orders.
We got some work coming in the door.
We'll see. So I don't know, big deal, but might get to eat this month. So there we go. What's going on over there?
It is. You know what I say? Any month out from under the bridge is a good month. It's a fake. What's going on over here? Well, first of all, and I skipped our little introductions again, so good job fitting yours in. I'll remember that next time I host. So yes, I am Jared, the other brother, and I am the CEO of Worldwide English Services. We customize and deliver online English training courses to corporate and business, corporate and government clients. I'm doing pretty well. I am enjoying time in Saudi Arabia. Today was an interesting day. Went out, had a couple meetings, a good meeting with a very big potential client. So we'll see how that goes. Trying something new, I think. One of my clients convinced me to do in-person training. So I'm pretty sure that I'm going to fly somebody in from Lebanon to Saudi Arabia and have them teach here for 2 months. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be something different. I've been brainstorming how to fit everything together, all the pieces. But we'll see. Let's see how it goes.
Wow.
Should be.
And the person from Lebanon is a native English speaker?
He is not. These are going to be for very low level students. And this is a guy that we've worked with for a while now with students at this level. Arabs are a little bit nervous about jumping right in with native speakers. So they like having somebody, even though this guy, he often doesn't use Arabic in his lessons. But still, I think just the psychological factor of knowing that if worst comes to worst, you can speak in Arabic and he'll understand what you're saying.
Okay.
So I'd show it like that. But yeah.
Interesting. So another little bubble, another little avenue for your mind to explore and see the pros and cons, and you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I think I found a couple interesting avenues. The big thing is that we won't get to use our site and all the automated tools we have. But what I'm thinking is actually we will use it. We'll integrate that as a new service, and then we'll have something like 2 video feeds in the classroom. So one showing the teacher and one showing the students. And so those will, record those to the site, we will require the teacher or the client maybe have 2 just webcams, like kind of facing opposite watchers. That's what I'm thinking about. So that way we'd still have attendance records, we'd still have lesson recordings and all of that. It would still be on the site. We could have oversight, but it would be in person. So we'll see.
Would you have to get legal permission to record people? Would that be an additional legal thing?
We already have that. So we record all of our lessons. So everything.
Okay. Did the same Kamatsu lessons hook up?
Yeah. Maybe something. But it'll be cool. It'll be interesting. What are your these kitchens you're working on? Is this something new?
Well, I forget if I actually said it the last one. It just had come in through last week, I think, our last recording. So they are something new, but it's more than I thought. It took me like 2 hours to write it all up, and so it's a low margin. But I got a new credit card, so it'll pretty much take care of the majority of the minimum spend. But yes, so we'll see. I think I have confirmation. I'm about to check on that. Had then sent it in, so we'll see. It'll be a lot of work. The one thing I need to make sure I do with this is to use this. I have no cabinets really right now, just a couple in stock. but I need to use this when they come in, especially because one of the kitchens is from the new color, the new stain. And so the new finish. So I only have one of those cabinets here, which I actually haven't opened because I'm waiting to do a video because I have this idea for how, doing a specific video, but I need to, record when I do that kitchen and use it because I need to feature this new finish. It's going to be popular. I just haven't shouted it yet. And so, I need to make sure I kind of do this right. So looking at that, but otherwise, we'll see. Let's jump into,
Let's do it.
Jump into the host today.
Wait a second.
Second. Well, we're going to make sure we stay on track, and we got to open up this heavy ass vault door. Are we allowed to curse on this show? We had this heavy door for the vault, and so.
All right, so how about a review first? What is your take this week?
It was not this week. This is something I've been watching a series of videos, and it actually reminded me of this. And this is a pretty actionable one. There was a guy that was a contact of one of my best clients, and a year later he got in touch with me, and he's like, "Oh, I got your information through this person. He's a contractor. Came over, must have been here for 40 minutes because I'm a relational person. We got to talking." I talked about a whole bunch of things. I've been trying to do this where I actually write down some of the things that people say because I'm a very active listener, but I have a very poor memory. And so that's a brutal combination because I really am interested in what they're saying. I am genuine about that, but I just forget sometimes because my brain's a mess. So I actually wrote down some things. Whatever. We had a great conversation. He mentions that he has a trip coming up and he's doing this, but he has like 4 kitchens he's about to do. I checked in with him one other time, maybe twice, but I want to say definitely once, and I think it was only one time. And I think the mistake was to not stay on and continue and not let people just fall through the cracks. When somebody presents me an opportunity, I need to follow it genuinely and earnestly, and not let things fall through the cracks. And I think that's kind of the lesson for myself with this one.
So what does not falling through the cracks look like?
Regular checkups with this person. Yeah, so I should have been, for one, I should have taken this opportunity to reach out. I actually didn't to the client, that their contact or how they got me in touch and thank them for that. I actually haven't asked them for a referral as also I could have put it all into one, which I will do now actually. It's just late because this is like 3 months ago. And then I did a good job the first one because he referenced the trip. I was like, I hope the trip went well and whatever. Trying to engage with him based on what we had talked about. But I forget what his response was. But just staying with it and just, what do I have to lose? He said he has kitchens. Does he have kitchens or not? And if he does have kitchens, I should ask them if I can put in whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. I always think that there's something wrong with asking. There's something wrong with pushing. And there's nothing wrong with pushing when somebody opens up the opportunity, opens up the door for me. And so that's what it is. And so I really should, not let any of wring out the juice or whatever, not leave anything in there, leaving too much on the table. And I need to clean my boat.
What was it?
Okay.
Yeah. And there are good ways to do that too. It made me think of a couple of things. One is I do the same thing where I take down notes when I'm contacting people. We just had a guy, he had a wedding. I thought it was in his family, but it turned out to be like a friend's niece or something. And so he was gone all last week. So I called him earlier this week and I'd written down on the note for myself, like when I was saying, like I put a to-do item to call him and I put in parentheses, say something about the wedding. So I was like, so how did the wedding go? And he's like, oh, thank you so much for asking. People really like that. And it's a good way of making it happen, building those relationships. And the second thing I was thinking about, I had at this meeting today, I told this guy, this is an academy, basically, a really big academy. They need an English provider for like thousands of students. Like it's very, very big. And so I was telling this guy about plans that I have or how to improve our product that I'm really excited about. So I got finished talking about the plans and I said something like, You can tell how excited I am about this. So how do we get this deal signed so I can get a lot of money from you so I can build all of this? And so he will laugh. High five.
No, it's a lit.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because when you are genuine about things like that, like people appreciate it. Like
that's true.
Yeah, it's okay. Yep. Just ask, say it, ask it confidently. As long as like the indifference is there. That's the thing that I forget who says that, but the indifference has to be there of like, that's not a, please, can I work with you?
Yeah.
Hello, can I, today, can we work tomorrow? If it's saying like,
or even aggressive.
Of course I want to work with you.
Yeah. Like,
or that, so, yeah. Right. But yeah, if you're expressing interest while at the same time not being needy or about being indifferent, yeah. So cool. But yeah, it sounds like a really good lesson for sure.
Yeah, I need to reevaluate each one and make sure I'm not leaving something on the table. And then watch those, and as soon as I hear those things like I have this coming up or I have that coming up or whatever, chase those. So, but yeah. Because your projects are even bigger, I'm guessing that there's not as much. I guess you could chase things down and go for it, but as far as leaving something on the table or because is there? Let me say this better so that I can make it out. Is there even a way for you to upsell in your business?
Yeah, for sure. There are a couple different ways to do it. Like one way is we can. Our clients often aren't very creative. They don't realize what needs they have or what needs we can figure out for them, take care of them for them. So when I take the time, when we do a project for another client, it's important for me. I often forget to do this, but it's important to do this. A client asks us to develop and give a masterclass on public speaking. When I spread that around to the other clients, and say, hey, just to let you know, we did this for these guys. If you ever need something like that, let us know.
Nice.
Oftentimes, shaking the branches like that will shake something loose in a way that they wouldn't have thought of otherwise. Like they wouldn't have thought like, hey, let's ask Jared if he can do a leadership workshop or whatever. But if I say, hey, we did this, I'm like, oh, that's not such a bad idea. So that will definitely help. But I did want to ask, 'cause when you're going back to people, something I read is how it's always important to add value to them. And so in our case, it can be exactly that. Like, hey, we did this program for these guys. Thought you might have to update. I also, are you ready to move forward? Something like that. Or here's this resource I found that made me think of you. Are you ready to move forward? Something like that. So you're coupling it rather than just pinging. So what in your business, what are bits of value that you're able to add to clients?
What's the value though? You're just asking twice. I don't get that real quick. Go back to, you're saying, so you're trying to upsell and also sell. Where's the give?
So the give is you're providing your expertise. So you're demonstrating your expertise. So you're saying, so they're getting value in that they see, oh, okay, I have somebody that I can trust to do this because they did it elsewhere.
I wouldn't call it value, but that's just,
yeah.
That one?
It is. It definitely is, because the value is, you're giving them more confidence, and that's value. So if I'm really not sure about you, like your kitchen's, I don't know, man, I know these 10 other people, and so I'm kind of agonizing over the situation here. And then you come to me and say, hey, we just wrapped up this kitchen here. I thought you might like to see the pictures. And I say, oh, wow, those look really good. Okay. I don't have to agilize over this decision anymore. I feel much more confident, like emotionally. Great. Let's go ahead. Let's move forward.
Yeah.
So ideal. Sure. That's the idea. Something like that.
I see what you're saying. It's a little more indirect and it provides more value to you. And so that's why but I see what you're saying, because having the indecision, having a lack of confidence, having obstacles in the way of the decisions is a problem, and having alleviation, if that's a word, or alleviating that pressure could be providing value. Anyway, I'm sorry. I kind of sidetracked this with that.
No, it's okay. But yeah. So what for you? Like what a way little bits of value that you could add?
I don't know. Besides following up and whatever, but when I'm doubling back over, or as far as, well, there's kind of two conversations. What I was talking about is following up on the leads or the ideas or the opportunities that are presented to me directly, and then I started asking about upselling, and so that would be a slightly different thing. That, besides in the moment, be like, hey, and I've done this a couple of times. Do you have countertops? Yeah, we got countertops. All good. Whatever. I'm glad you had that. Do you do hardware? Do you need hardware? Oh, no, I'm going to get that from Home Depot. Fine. Do you need your hardware drill? Because I can drill the thing for the hardware. Oh, actually, yeah, that'll be great. Or, my budget, I'll be like, okay. And then what I've done for people, especially like house flippers, is I'll lend them my jig. And so I just give them my hardware jig. And so they can do it themselves. And I do that for free. And people really like that. The one that gave me the best, the first person I asked for a review, I did that for them, and she had loved the whole experience, and so everything was good, and they dropped it back off, and everything's good, and I could do that all day. I don't care. It's not a resource, just a tool, and it's a pain, and it's risky to do hardware. So it's nice to do it, a little extra money, but whatever. And so as far as going back over and making sure there's nothing left, that I need to think about more. It's a separate thing, but more just I need to be more persistent and more earnest about chasing down the opportunities that are presented to me.
For sure.
Why don't you go? Let's go for you.
Over to me. All right. So I read recently something that really struck home, and that is that oversharing is a sign of loneliness. I posted this on my LinkedIn as well recently, because if you're lonely, you're not getting your need for communication met. When you have the opportunity to set like a connection with somebody, you kind of let go. You dump in everything else that you've been building up in the background, and I travel a lot, so I'm often lonely or just alone also, not even necessarily lonely in a negative way, just by myself a lot. And yeah, like I talk to myself constantly, of course.
You are very, sometimes
I really am. I'm my very best friend. So I also talk with other people once in a while. And I have noticed that when the conversation hits something that's interesting to me, it's like freight train is taking off. We're leaving the station now. You can just try to stop us. And people don't really like that a lot of times. People want to talk about themselves. They want to have more give and take, all of that type of thing. And so for business, this is, because I blur the line all the time between personal and business. Although in this part of the world, that's what you do. Like everything, there is no line between personal and business. But I do that quite a bit as well. And so, for example, if it is a networking situation where meeting somebody is really interesting to me and I'd like to have them as a connection, I will sometimes fall into the weakness. And I did this just recently, which is I went to a house party with a bunch of rich Saudis, and we got onto a topic that was really interesting for me. I think it was U.S. politics, and so by the end of that conversation, I realized they were kind of like, oh, it's been a while since I've looked at my phone. Okay, I think, getting to that point, I overstayed my conversational welcome that, and there were people that like, it would be good to have a connection with. So it's not a critical error per se, but it is something that to be aware of I think both in two respects. Number one, when you're in the situation. So when I am in the situation, I can be aware of that tendency. But then also, I think like many things, when you make a mistake, it's a sign of an underlying issue. And so here, the underlying issue could be, I don't have enough communication in my life. And so that might be a sign, instead of reaching out or instead of waiting until those moments, maybe I need to set up some more Zoom calls with some friends in the meantime, just to get the conversation in, so I don't have so much built up that the volcano needs to blow by the time I get to a context where it's really important.
Does that actually happen to you that often, though? Or it doesn't seem like this is something that characterizes you. I want to balance this for the audience that doesn't know you as well. It's it doesn't seem to me to be a chronic thing. Obviously, people are more interested when they're talking about things that are interesting to them.
Sure.
And it's important if you know. But is this something that you actually think is a?
I don't. No, I wouldn't say it's a significant problem. What I'm not sure about is that I'm a very open person generally. There are very few things that I wouldn't talk with somebody about, even somebody I just met. I don't really care about kind of keeping secrets so much. And I'm not sure if there is some of that in there, like if that's it's coming from a similar place, if that's also oversharing because I don't have a lot of people that I'm kind of talking about deep frustrations or deep emotions or etc. with, and so maybe I'm cutting loose in these situations where it's not as culturally accepted or where we usually do it.
Situational, maybe.
Sure. Now, I will say, on the other hand, people are open with you if you're open with them. And so that gets me a lot of places. Like it can be a real positive when people see. So I often use this as a tool. If I see that somebody, like if I ask a question that's personal or sensitive, and I can see the person hesitate, instantly I jump in and answer it myself. So whether it's something like, I'll just use a dumb example. So what did you have for breakfast today? And if I see you like, oh, kind of, why is he asking that question? Like, so I had oatmeals, and it was just unusual for me, and I was just wondering if that's normal. Like, what do other people have for breakfast? So yeah, if you don't mind answering,
justifying your question,
yes, but also showing that like my cards are on the table. Like I'm not trying to get the secret of yours. Like I'm kind of I'll show yours, and now can you show me? I'll show you mine, and now can you show me yours? That type of thing. So people respond to that quite a bit.
Yes,
no, they do.
I gotcha.
And so so that's that has really helped. But I think it's I want to do some analysis or kind of observing myself to identify: am I sharing a lot because I'm oversharing, or am I sharing a lot because I'm just comfortable sharing here? I want to talk in this situation.
No, I don't think so. It made sense. I think it made sense.
Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that was my mistake. What I've been thinking about. But I thought that was really insightful. Sadly, it was not something I thought of. But I like that oversharing is a sign of loneliness.
I am so glad I do not overshare. I'm very lonely, but at least I don't worry.
Well, what is the life that is about to be living by yourself and working by yourself? You're man. Kind of you're in.
I absolutely
encroaching into my. Actually, yeah, you are already pretty close to my way of life. So that's true. That's why we do this podcast. Could we never talk to?
Yeah, right. Oh, brother. Anyway, before this gets even darker, let's. Do we have a sponsor for today?
Oh yes, we do. I don't know why, but we do somehow.
Nice.
So I'm very excited. So we won't be sleeping under the bridge this month either, this week either.
Okay.
So the sponsor for today is actually Tinder, which I'm very excited about. If you are looking for true love, then I think they're gonna. Are we still on for the sponsorship? Are we? Wait, hey Jay, what would you say is like the how long should you wait before you like? I'm sure they're probably still going to sponsor us. I'm sure. But yeah, they're just probably busy today. I'm sure they're busy today.
What do you mean? Did you call them? I missed it. What, are they here? Is Tinder among us?
No, they're going to sponsor us. They stopped responding a little bit, but they're just busy. I'm pretty sure they're just busy today. Probably like some work going on or something, but they'll get back to us.
In the last correspondence with talking about like the specifics of the ad, you did use a bit of an off-color joke. It was a bit of aggressive, and so sometimes that can turn off huge corporations. So you gotta be professional.
I guess they haven't unsponsored us yet though, so we're still in there. We'll see. I'm sure it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. We'll see. We'll just keep checking every hour until we know for sure.
Absolutely, sounds good. I'll look to see if they're online. If they read any of our stories.
Oh, you have a premium. Okay, that's good to know.
Anyway, so very exciting. We want to thank them. We really appreciate the sponsorship. Really go out and get your premium subscription as well. For sure, we get just negative 3% of each sponsor or each premium subscription.
Yeah.
So
you have to pay them.
It's very exciting. We do.
Yes, it is. It's a big name. Sometimes it's good to be associated with just a name.
At this stage of the podcast, when we're still building, it's just part of the.
We're almost there, but
game.
That's right.
We're
There we go. Wonderful, great sponsor.
Thank you all.
We'll close up the vault for today and open it up again in 2 days. I think we're going to be back in.
Well, for everyone, they're going to think it's in a week, but for us, it's 2 days. We won't tell them though. Let's keep that between us. No oversharing. Okay.
Sorry. All right. I'm lonely. Thank you guys for watching.
Okay. Thanks everybody. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.
Talk to you later.